Who calls snow days? Who makes tough decisions for our schools? Who's the one above all in the Chardon Schools District? Dr. Hanlon, Chardon Superintendent, reflects on his personal life and what it takes to do his job.
Well, I've been in the superintendency for 24 years now. It always brings its challenges and exciting opportunities, and I love being superintendent of schools. It's really great to be a part of helping to build the programs that we offer in our school district and the curriculum, and ultimately just seeing our students succeed. That's a real reward in the position. Wow, that's a hard question. It's kind of a job that really demands that you're on almost 24/7. I mean, when you think about snow days, I'm up at 3:30 in the morning. I know when the answer isn't always the answer that students want for a snow day, but we are up hard at work very early in the morning to evaluate that situation. Weekends, evenings with athletic events and meetings and things like that. Be very difficult to put a number on it, but it's certainly a lot more than a 9-to-5 type of a job. And I think in order to do it well, you have to be available during those times, because it's just it's a job where we're working with, in our school district, for example, about 325 employees. We have 2,700 students, and obviously our community as well. So there's a lot going on, and that brings its own demands to be available. So hard to put a number on that question, but certainly try to be available all the time whenever there's I have a lot of interests that I pursue in my own time. I'm an avid runner, so I spend a lot of time on the road, probably train anywhere from 40 to 50 miles a week. So do a lot of that. Also very involved in ice hockey. I still play. I also am a referee, so I spend a lot of time doing games, and that's a great distraction from the job because I get to focus on that. Also like to hunt and do things like that as well. So again, kind of a broad mix of things that I'm involved in my personal. No, I do. I enjoy racing. I would say my favorite race is the half marathon, but I also do a couple of marathons a year. Right now I was fortunate enough to qualify for the Boston Marathon, so I'm going to run that in April this year. So right now I'm heavy in my training schedule to get ready for that, and pretty excited about that. That's my first opportunity to run that race, and you have to qualify in, so real excited about that. Well, let me help clarify that for you as best I can. We do our very best to evaluate road conditions. Certainly a top priority is the ability of our school buses to make transportation routes and to do that safely. And so we are evaluating the condition of the roads. We speak to the city officials as well as the township officials to understand where they are with snow removal and maintenance of the roads. We're also looking at temperature and just a number of conditions as to whether or not we can open schools safely. Now, again, one of the challenging things, and I know sometimes it's easy to look out the window at 8 o'clock in the morning and say, well, why didn't you close school? We're making that decision at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes around the Chardon area, the conditions change pretty dramatically from 4 o'clock in the morning to 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's sometimes it's do we miss it? Sometimes, absolutely. Sometimes you get in the middle of the morning and you say, boy, I wish we would have gone another direction. And likewise, you miss it sometimes the other way, where you close school and then you find out that by 8:30 the roads are clear and everything is fine. So we take all those factors into condition. and into consideration, try to evaluate what we're dealing with, and then make the best decision possible for any given day. I think whenever I'm involved in making a hard decision, whether it be a snow day or another decision affecting our school district, certainly draw on my experience of having had similar situations and what the impact was of those decisions. I think it's also important that that for anyone in any job to have a network of people that they trust and that they rely upon, that they can go to and they can talk about the particular situation that they're dealing with, and to help inform a quality decision that they're making. So I certainly rely on, we have a great team of administrators in our district, and I rely on those individuals to bounce ideas off and evaluate what the pros and cons are of a particular decision that we're making. And sometimes I even have resources outside of our school district and just people that I've grown in my professional network that I can feel free to call and draw on their resources to help me think about all aspects of a particular problem or situation that we might be facing. And again, one of my guiding principles, if you will, is how does this help improve the situation for our students? Whether it be some kind of program that we're offering or whatever it might be, how does this impact our students? How does it make things better for our students? And that is what I try to have drive my decision making all the time. Well, that's a difficult side of any kind of a leadership position, and it's important to try to help members of any community understand the rationale for the decision and how this impacts our students, for example, what the basis was for it. And I think now more than any time we're seeing that it's a challenge. People have different perspectives about things, and achieving that common ground is very important in helping them understand, how we arrived at a particular decision. Sure. I had the benefit of education was already in my family. My father was a teacher, so I pretty much went right into teaching. I started as a 5th grade teacher in South Euclid-Lyndhurst schools. Moved to being a 6th grade teacher in mentor schools. I did that for about 5 years. Then I became a principal in mentor schools at the elementary school level, assistant superintendent in Painesville City Schools, superintendent in Painesville City Schools, and now superintendent in Chardon Schools. And I think each one of those experiences helped prepare me for the next level. It was a great building experience for me. And again, it was helpful to prepare me for the next step in the journey. I think, continuing just the focus on the 4 E's primarily was probably the key takeaway from my prior experience, and that we continue to have that as a focal point for what we were doing. And then just the kind of the overall experience of curriculum development and continuing our focus on that we make sure that we keep our programs updated for students, and that our teachers are equipped to have the best tools that we can to be effective in the classroom. I appreciate the sense of community that we have here in Chardon. It's a close-knit, outstanding community to be in as superintendent of schools, and the support that we have experienced as a school district from everyone in the community has been very much appreciated. And I think that all we have is the best is yet to come for Chardon schools and where we're going and how we're headed into the future.